Circling back, I remember during spring ball you talked about some creative ways maybe to produce more pressure up front. You were like scheming maybe a little bit differently. How has that played out as you get into fall camp to see guys moving around, maybe doing different things?
We're not really really worried about what the scheme is. What we're really working on is beating the set of the tackle, getting better at beating the one-on-one block. We've had a lot of work that with Coach Pop and those 5 techniques in our interior guys. So that's where we're getting better. What it is and what it looks like, we don't care. It's really all about, man, getting takeoff and winning and beating the set of that tackle and finishing to the quarterback. And I think we've had some improvement of that this summer. We got some guys we feel like that can help us there, but we're still growing in that area.
How do you develop that? Because some of that's probably innate with the athleticism and the speed and quickness. But then I guess 2-part question. Then you bring in a guy like Coach Pop who did it at an elite level in the past. His coach did it at an elite level. How did you coach, I guess, athleticism into that equation, and B, how does he help in that? Because he probably learned some traits that.
Sure. I mean, Coach Pop. You think about the great ones he's been around. Man, he used a lot of Reggie White references and what he's done. I think he's been a really good asset to us up front, and just a relentless effort and making it simple. It's not real hard, man. Just get to the quarterback, but beat the set of the lineman, and it's got to be relentless. Don't stop your feet. And he's brought all of those things to us here. He's really helped us.
What have you seen from the defensive ends early on here in camp?
Some good things and some bad things early on. I really like the good things that they're bringing. You think about those 2 guys, and we return Ike Azugwa there. We return Domonique Orange, and we return Zamir Hawk. What we've done is we've gone and we got Von Troy Malone, who's having a really good camp there. We're playing him to the field, and Tamatoa McDonough, we've added him, and then Cannon Butler, who's a lone kid from here in state, and we put those guys to the boundary. So we've increased, man, at least size and length there. And it's just working on the consistency, the everyday, being consistent in the fundamentals and finishing to the ball. But what it looks like is just long and bigger bodies on the outside. And you got Elijah Carnell. Man, he'll be to the boundary. That's a big physical guy. And then you also have Jace Gilbert there that's floating around you to the boundary field. But the presence of the 5 techniques of long, big guys.
I don't know, is it critical that those guys get more pressure on the quarterback this year, or how much does that alleviate having to do scheme things?
Yeah, we got to win the one-on-one. We watched the film from last year. We struggled in that department. Man, Ken, going out and looking at Tamatoa, who's done a great job in the FCS level, has done a great job in the Ivy Leagues. Trey Verdone is also a really good pass rusher from the outside. Miles Mendezoon, you got to have those guys there and put them in the situations in 3rd down where you can get some guys and up the field into the quarterback. So I think it's having the right guys on the field at the right time that can rush the passer. We got the pieces. We got to make sure they're on the field when we need them out on the 3rd down.
With Tamatoa, how big of a thing was it that he didn't get here in the summer, and how's that transition gone for him and trying to catch up to a guy like Von Troy who was here in January?
Man, I think that's a good question. The one thing about Tamatoa is that he's smart. He's from Yale, he's got a Yale degree. So the playbook he's picked up very well. Now it's just about the fundamentals. I think the one thing that was exciting for him coming here, in his past, he's had 3 or 4 defensive line coaches. And we have one style here. Man, I think every day in practice, you see that guy getting better and better and better. So, man, it's going to be really, man, getting into the fall season and getting him in the game. But I think he's going to be exactly what we want as he gets going and learn the speed of the Big 12. But I think he's he's done a fantastic job of taking the install and just getting better. Man, we just asked the guys to get 1% better.
And then a follow-up question earlier on Coach Pop. How's that dynamic gone between you and him and what he's brought from you and I? And is there a particular, is he really good at coaching pass rushing or interior guys, or what's he kind of added to the room as a coach?
I think that's a good question too. The one thing between Coach Pop and I, we're old school guys. We're old school guys. We operate the same way, and really it's about mastering the fundamentals, and you have to do those fundamentals over and over and over again. That's been his mentality and you and I. That's been my mentality here. So we've kind of collectively just kind of glued together because our mentalities are the same. Man, we want to knock guys back on the run and have great fundamentals, and then how fast can we get to the passer? And like I said, he's brought some simple fundamentals of rushing the passer to us, man. It's about how fast can I get to him, how fast can I beat him? And that's the thing, man. We're two old school guys, man, and that's been a great mix to have them here.
What's it been like maybe watching 18, 19, 20-year-olds kind of figure out, man, Coach Pop was pretty legit back in the day?
Yeah, these guys don't know. I said, man, you guys don't really understand. Man, this guy was the defensive MVP in the league. Matter of fact, when I was playing, I loved watching Coach Pop. I thought he was an incredible player. So, man, having him here and obviously being a fan myself, the other guys have quickly understood, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
What'd you like watching about Pop when he played?
Oh, man, he got after it. He got after the quarterback. His relentless effort. He was long. Back then you didn't see those type of guys, and if I could say it, man, a white guy rushing a passer, right? And he's got these sacks. So I was always intrigued by that because I just thought he played with great effort. And that always fascinated me. And when I was watching the ball, watching football, I wanted to watch the guys like John Randall has got this relentless effort. And he was one of those guys.
In the spring, I know you guys talked about wanting to challenge Domonique Orange to play 60 to 70% of the snaps defensively for you guys. How do you feel like he's progressed his conditioning to handle that level of snaps this fall?
Well, his conditioning is really good. I think he's in the best shape of his life. Now, the mentality of him and what I tell Dom Orange, if we got 4 plays, I want that 4th play to look like your first play. That's the challenge, all right? And there's accountability if it's not. And that's for not just Dom, but for everybody in the room. But he's got to play consistent football with his attitude and effort. He's in the best shape of his life. Man, he can play 40, 50 plays, whatever we ask at any position, but it's really about the finish of all those things. If it's 40, 50 plays and it's not great finish and it's inconsistent, then it doesn't help us. Whatever amount that we put for him, we need it to be his best stuff. And that's it, man. If his best stuff is 30 plays or 40 plays, then that's what we're going to get. But we're pushing him, hey, we need you out on the field in these situations, and it can't be bad. We just need your attitude and effort. And man, he's done a great job with that. Man, we're not forcing him to be the leader of the defense. We just want his actions to lead us and to bring on, man, because we got a really good talented, and really you got those 2 levels there that we talked about, and then you got these redshirt freshmen and true freshmen, which I think are really, really talented group. We just don't have time to wait for those guys to develop because, man, they've worked their bodies, and we're going to have to play those guys, but he's got to show those guys what it feels like to play in the Big 12 and how you practice and how you play in the game. And I think we're really challenging him to finish and to be that guy through actions, not words, man. Let's show these young guys how to play the game.
Coach, how have you seen, I think he's young and will grow both mentally and physically over the last few years?
Yeah, the physical part is that, man, we set a number for him to be 285. He's